Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores U, and we did it, man. Shouts out to Justin Williams just a few minutes ago, the 5-star #1 2024 linebacker in this 2024 class. Linebacker Justin Williams just committed to the Georgia Bulldogs. UGA, rejoice, man. This is a big day for us. Now, technically, we have 2 5-star linebackers on board, but I expect DeMarcus Riddick to leave. So, technically, we only have 1, but we're also going to talk about a couple of 4-star linebackers that will probably join Justin Williams in this class and why I'm so excited about this class. And even on top of the 2023 class, that was arguably the best linebacker class put together ever in college football history, why this linebacker group for the Georgia Bulldogs is about to be insane for the near future and maybe forever. But of course, we got to break down Georgia Bulldogs recruiting. We got to talk about Justin Williams. How great is he? Does he deserve to be the #1 linebacker? And of course, we got to talk about Glenn Schumann, man. Some crazy stats about his recruiting run with linebackers since he's come here. He's ridiculous. We talk about Todd Hartley. We talk about Fran Brown and a lot of these guys. But Glenn Schumann has been putting in work. Georgia has some of the best recruiters in the nation. Arguably the best tight end recruiter. Arguably one of the best, maybe the best DBs recruiter, and then also at the very least the best linebacker recruiter. And we could probably even go on with other positions, especially soon. Defensive line is starting to stack up with them first-round picks, so we got to dive into all that and more. But before we do, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button. Y'all know me, man. Normally when a player commits, we do a film session to celebrate them committing, but I already did a film session for Justin Williams. We've already done that, so go check that out if you haven't already. And so today we're just going to talk about everything revolving around him, like I already said in the intro. And this, I guess for this channel, this is going to be your first time seeing my dogs in the bottom left corner while I'm talking to y'all. And I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. Why would I not have my dogs on the channel? So that's them at the bottom left. That's Brody and Aja over there fighting currently, right? Oh no, that's actually Aja and Ozzy fighting. My dogs are Aja on the left, and you'll see Brody throughout the video. Those are the 2 dogs that I have. But either way, man, let's go ahead and get to this video. Without further ado, let's get it. So again, breaking news, 5-star linebacker Justin Williams has committed to Georgia. The 6'2", 210-pound linebacker from Conroe, Texas, chose the Bulldogs over Oregon, Texas, and Alabama, amongst a lot of other schools, but those were the guys that were kind of the closest in it. Especially, it was like a head-to-head battle with Oregon all the way to the end. He said in the interview with On3 when he just announced his commitment that he pretty much just decided like a few days ago / a week ago that he was going to pick Georgia, and not even Kirby Smart didn't know until he just said it live when we found out. Of course, I was in that live stream. I'm a diehard Georgia Bulldog fan. I'm in all of the message boards, all of the forums. I'm subscribed to On3. I'm subscribed to Brooks Austin, one of my favorite Georgia reporters, and he got film evaluators. If you're not on his Patreon, I'm definitely promoting that. I'm subscribed to everywhere you could possibly be subscribed. I'm checking the 247 On3 rankings every day. I'm one of those fans. I'm in the message boards, all of that. So, hey, man, I'm just really excited about this whole thing. I'm a really passionate fan, and nothing better than to get this guy right here, man. I'm telling you. But so, of course, I was in that live stream watching just like the rest of y'all for him to commit. We had a good feeling going in that he would commit to Georgia, but it's crazy because he was straight Oregon for the longest, and then we brought him in for an unofficial visit with his teammate Joseph Jonah-Ajayi, who we'll talk about a little bit later in the video, and they loved it. They came back for an official visit like a month later, and it's pretty much just been up since then. It was literally Oregon all the way up to that point. It's just ridiculous, man. I'm so happy. And also, he is commitment number 26 right now, but again, I'm expecting DeMarcus Riddick to decommit from Georgia to commit to Alabama or Auburn within the next few days. So basically, he makes the 25th in a way. But yeah, man, our history of not only getting elite linebackers, but most importantly, producing elite linebackers and sending them to the NFL draft to be great is just ridiculous, man. And he's taken notice. Justin Williams said, quote, "They've done it a lot. The proof is in the pudding." All of the linebackers that have been to Georgia have gone to the NFL. That's really something that caught my eye. And that's one really interesting statistic before we even get to Glenn Schumann. If you have started at least one snap for Glenn Schumann, since he's been here for the past few years, you have gotten drafted. At the very least, if you've just started, even some guys that have never started for Georgia, just as part of the rotation, never started a single game, have been drafted. Glenn Schumann has a crazy track record for the draft right now. Again, he's 6'2", 210 pounds, has the size to probably even get up to like 230, man. He's going to be arguably the best Mike linebacker in college football when it's said and done. I mean, I'm that high on him. I think he's potentially like the Brock Bowers of linebackers. I really do. And it's crazy too, because this class is going to be so historical, because you can argue Dylan Raiola is the best quarterback in this class. I still feel like he is. I feel like he's potentially like the next Pat Mahomes for real, play style, size, everything. You ask certain people, they feel like Ellis Robinson, the corner that we already have, super committed to us, like the hardest a hard commit could be. Some people feel like, I think it's ESPN, it feels like he's the #1 player, or Rivals, one of them feels like he's literally the best player in the country. And arguably some people feel like the receiver that's committed to Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith, is probably the best player in the country. And Ellis Robinson pretty much shut him down when they were at a camp together. So there's that argument for Ellis Robinson. If he neutralizes the best receiver, who seems like the next Julio Jones, what does that make Ellis Robinson? The next Jalen Ramsey or something? And then, of course, we're in on it for Williams Nwaneri. So, I mean, I always butcher his name. I don't know if it's Nwaneri or Nwaneri. I don't know, man. Somebody please help me with that. But either way, we're in it for him, and arguably, according to On3, he's the best player in the nation, let alone defensive player, let alone defensive lineman. We're in it for him. And then, of course, we have Justin Williams, the #1 linebacker. KJ Bolden, we're definitely in it for him for the #1 safety. This class is crazy, bro. We're not just getting great players. We're not just getting 5 stars. We're getting the #1 players at their positions. This is going to be a historical class for Georgia, man. I'm so excited. According to On3, I mean, it just depends on where you look. Like, On3 feels like Justin Williams is the #1 linebacker, but the 14th overall player, period, and #3 player in Texas. 247 Sports feels like he's the #2 linebacker behind Sammy Brown and the 16th overall player. ESPN has his 14th and Rivals has him as 12th. So when you look at the industry rankings and you compile all of that, shouts out to On3 for doing that for us. He's the 9th best player out of the entire country and the #1 linebacker. Either way, I'll take it. I think he's even better than that. I feel like, honestly, when you look at the tape, he's a top 5 player easily. Again, I think you can argue between him, Dylan Raiola, Jeremiah Smith, Williams Nwaneri, and KJ Bolden and Ellis Robinson are the best players out of this entire class, regardless of position. And we're in for it on all of them, really. I mean, Jeremiah Smith, I highly doubt we get him. But if Brian Hartline leaves to take a head coaching job elsewhere, like Northwestern or something, then it's quite likely that we're back in it. But if Brian Hartline stays put with Ohio State, I highly doubt we get Jeremiah Smith. But literally every other name I just mentioned that you can argue is the best player out of this entire class, Georgia either has them, is likely to get them, or at the very least in it for them. And Nathaniel Frazier, the best running back in this class, it sounds like he's definitely leaning towards us as well. That's a battle between Georgia and Oregon, just like Justin Williams. Hopefully he picks us just like Justin Williams picked us, man. It's absolutely ridiculous what we're doing out here, and a lot of people love him. Don't just take my word for it. Again, I've already done a film session. Go check that out if you haven't already. But you have people out here like Gabe Brooks saying he brings nuclear athleticism, positional flexibility, and a production to the Bulldogs defense. His ceiling is ridiculously high, unlimited high. Like, just literally, like, you can't put a cap on it. He's literally the #1 rated linebacker Georgia has ever recruited and gotten to commit to them and potentially sign to us. Hopefully he sticks with it. In program history, out of all of the great linebackers we've had throughout Georgia history, including Roquan Smith, Nakobe Dean, and all of these guys, Justin Williams is the highest rated one out of all of them, according to a lot of the recruiting rankings. That's insane to even just think about. But again, it's the athleticism why the ceiling is ridiculous. He's a converted safety. He just moved from safety to linebacker his junior season. Now he's going into his senior season as a full-time linebacker as well. But he comes with a certain floor to where his instincts are already way ahead of where they should be. He's not just a freak athlete. There are freak athletes out there that are still really raw. That's what separates the 4 stars from the 5 stars. This guy comes with a really high floor as well. Positional flexibility, like Gabe Brooks said. Again, I mean, he's coming from linebacker. This guy is 6'2", 210 pounds. You could probably add another 20, 230, and he runs a 4.5. That's insane. And once he gets into a Georgia workout program, Georgia nutrition program, all of that type of stuff, he may even clock in quicker than that by the time he reaches the NFL combine heading into the draft. He may be like a 4.4 something guy. You never know. Maybe even miraculously quicker than that at 6'2". Potentially, like, I think he's going to end up playing around like 225, 230. It's ridiculous. Then you have Graham Coffrey, who also said, he tweeted, wrote this about UGA linebacker commit Justin Williams on Dawgs Central back in May. My favorite highlights of any player in the class. He can run with anybody but closes with aggression. Georgia has had some studs at the linebackers over the years. He has a chance to be as good as any of them. And again, if you're going to according to recruiting rankings and stuff like that, he should arguably be the best one. I mean, his ceiling, all of that, if we're talking size, ceiling, and athleticism, he has the ceiling to be better than Roquan Smith and Nakobe Dean. It's ridiculous how freakishly athletic this guy is. I'm not just going to go ahead and put it, like, stamp my name beside it and say that he will be better than those guys, but the potential and athleticism, the body, the just natural God-given talent is definitely there for him to surpass those guys, which is just absolutely just unthinkable at this point. In his evaluation, Graham Coffrey said, what Williams has put on tape is silly. His highlights are my favorite of any player in the 2024 class. He is extremely physical, pursues 40 yards down the field from the opposite hash, so there's the passion, there's the willing to do whatever it takes to win. Again, like I've said in my film sessions, Kirby Smart doesn't just care if you're the most talented player doing it. He also cares not just about how physical you are and your physical ability, but also your mental ability. Do you want to win? Are you willing to chase down a ball carrier 50 yards down the way, even if it wasn't your responsibility? You're responsible for the left half of the field. The guy runs down the right half. Are you tracking him down to stop a touchdown? I mean, those type of plays make and win games, bro. Like, it's crazy. That's why Kirby Smart believes in that. You can't just be a ridiculous talent. You also have to have the mental aptitude to want to just win and do whatever it takes, do all of the dirty work, all of that type of stuff. But yeah, he pursues downfield from the opposite hash 40 yards down the field, can cover and closes like a bat out of hell. It's ridiculous. It's like target acquired. Like I said in my film session, he's like that big rocket from Mario Kart when you in the back. When you shouldn't be getting those. If you in last place getting those, you shouldn't be in last place getting them anyway. That's a last place type of box that you open with the question mark on it. But he's just like that missile. I'm telling you, when you watch the tape, go watch the film session. I'm telling you. I describe him as Munden and Tyndall hybrid of sorts, as he's excellent athleticism, but also plays with a great pad level and loves contact. He has so many things that you can't teach. That's the crazy thing about a lot of these guys we're bringing in. Dylan Raiola, Nathaniel Frazier, Justin Williams, KJ Bolden, Williams Nwaneri. A lot of these guys we already have, Ellis Robinson Jr., and a lot of these guys we may potentially get. They have so many traits that you can't teach, with Georgia having the best producer of talent, the best development program in college football, and I feel like that goes without saying. We can debate about who recruits the best, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, whoever, but when it comes to development, Georgia does it better than anybody else, and that's proven by all of the no stars and 3 stars we've turned into great players at a better rate than any other college program, period. But yeah, man, I mean, just all of those traits that you can't teach, and then you put them on a program that teaches and develops players better than anybody else in the country. These are literally future first-round picks we're putting together all in one class. It's about to be insane. It's really crazy what this class is looking like. It's going to be hard for Oregon to hold Georgia off in his recruitment, and lo and behold, it did end up being just like that. And again, like I said earlier, shouts out to Graham Coffey for this stat. Williams is the highest rated linebacker commit in program history, man. That's ridiculous. Also, now it's time to talk about Glenn Schumann and what he's accomplished. He has been putting in work. Justin Williams would be the 12th UGA signee from the state of Texas in the last 7 years, from 2018 to 2024. That's just ridiculous from a UGA standpoint. The fact that we're just getting guys from Texas, where there's Texas A&M, Texas, all these other schools, Oklahoma's closer. So many other people have a better chance of getting these guys, and Georgia's still pulling them out of there. It's ridiculous. After the Bulldogs went 11 years, 2007 to 2017, without signing anyone from Texas. So 2007, 2017, we couldn't get anybody from Texas. And then 2018 to 2024, we've already signed 12 in just those 6 years. That's absolutely ridiculous. Now, Glenn Schumann. Glenn Schumann has got a 5-star linebacker in every class since 2021. That is absolutely insane. This is the 4th straight cycle where he has a 5-star linebacker. That is ridiculous. And Including DeMarcus Riddick, Georgia has landed 4 of the 9 linebackers who were rated as 5 stars over the last 4 cycles, the last 4 recruiting cycles, years, whatever you want to call it. That's insane. We're literally hogging all of the talent, especially at linebacker and tight end. We got that on lock. DB is starting to become that way. Defensive line is starting to become that way. And, you know, the quarterback with quarterbacks, once Mike Bobo and Dylan Raiola, all of those guys, and even Carson Beck showing what Mike Bobo can do with the offense, and we'll finally have some 1,000-yard receivers. We'll start to lock down receiver as well. Man, it's about to get crazy. But again, 4th straight class with a 5-star linebacker commit for Glenn Schumann. There have only been 9 total linebackers who have been ranked as 5 stars over the last 4 recruiting cycles. UGA has signed 1 every year for a total. And when you're looking at the number of 5-star linebackers that Georgia has gotten per cycle, you go back to 2021, 3. 2022, 1, a down year. Crazy. Just 1 5-star linebacker. That's it, Georgia. That's the best you could do. 2023, 3. 2024, as of right now, 2. But again, I expect DeMarcus Riddick to leave, and I'm perfectly fine with only having 1 5-star linebacker, because again, the 4 stars we're going to talk about soon, the ceiling on one of them is so ridiculous. He has 5-star potential. He's just still very raw. And who would be better to, you know, groom that guy, develop him, than Glenn Schumann himself, Kirby Smart, and this Georgia staff? If anybody can turn him to a future 1st-round pick, it's us. But also, again, Justin Williams is arguably the best linebacker commit Georgia has ever gotten in its program history. So even if we only have 1 by the end of this cycle, when he's the best one, when he's rated higher than Roquan Smith and Nakobe Dean and all of these other guys that were 5 stars, I mean, how can you complain? Now, moving on, also, Joseph Jonah Ajayi, his high school brethren, his boy that literally goes to the same high school as him in Conroe, Texas. It's called Oak Ridge. He already committed to Georgia a few weeks ago, and he even said in his live commitment interview with Brooks Austin, again, make sure y'all go subscribe to his Patreon, follow him on YouTube, Twitter, all of that, man. That's my dog right there. Make sure that you go check out everything he got going on, man. The insider information is crazy. But either way, on that live stream where he committed on Brooks Austin YouTube channel, he said that, hey man, I'm praying that Justin Williams is coming here. But most interestingly, he said that Justin Williams helped him with his commitment to Georgia, which is like, wait, he helped you commit to Georgia. Does that mean he's coming too? And now it all comes full circle. It's also really interesting too, because Joseph Jonah Ajayi, he tweeted out, "Let's go, welcome home, brother," to Justin Williams as soon as he committed. But then he's live with Justin Williams in the same room as him with Georgia gear on, live on Dawgs HQ, and they're talking about their commitment and why he chose the Georgia, literally sitting right next to Justin Williams. And so they were in the same room. So Joseph Jonah Ajayi knew well before Kirby Smart and all of us, because he was literally already there at Justin Williams' house preparing for the commitment. He didn't come into the camera until Justin Williams already committed. Also, man, it's really cool because there's a Justin Williams account that commented on my film session of Justin Williams. I don't know if this is his real account, but if it is, man, I'm really happy that you saw the video, and thank you for committing to Georgia, man. I really appreciate it. I expect big things out of you. I think you're gonna be great. So if that's his real account, I'm honored, man. That's crazy. I can't believe even my film sessions are getting seen by these players. I can't believe they're checking them out. Now, lastly, before we get up out of here, again, probably gonna lose DeMarcus Riddick. I would bet money that we do, but we're also likely to land 4-star linebackers Chris Cole and Chris Jones. Chris Jones is the one that's leaning more towards Georgia right now, but I'm hearing that Chris Cole may be as well. Chris Jones is the one I want the most because he's the freak athlete as well. You could argue he's just as athletic as a Justin Williams. He's just raw. So you allow Glenn Schumann and Kirby Smart to get their hands on this guy, this ridiculous freak, one of the best athletes in this entire class, regardless of position. Again, he's only a 4-star because of how raw he is. Let him get into this Georgia development program, this coaching staff. He's going to turn into a 5-star. People are going to be like, this guy wasn't a 5-star. How did we miss this? I'm telling you, Chris Jones, go check out his tape if you haven't already. If he commits, once he commits, because I'm feeling really good about it, of course I'm gonna do a film session on him as well to show you what I'm talking about. Ridiculous athlete. But yeah, man, thank you, Justin Williams, for committing to Georgia. Whew, that was a rough one. I was really worried that Oregon might take him from us, man. Thank you if you're watching this video. Personally to you. Shouts out to Georgia for all of the work they've been putting in. This is about to be a historical class. I hope surpasses the Texas A&M class from a couple of years ago. That really wasn't that was like they would had to have been giving players Lambos, because you can see they were terrible before they got their class. Then they got the class, and now people are transferring out. They had to have been paying people in Lambos and mortgages or something like that. That was ridiculous. That class was a fluke. So Georgia should have the best class of all time college football history. I'm excited. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please stiff arm that like button, stiff arm that subscription button, and stay tuned for more content. Again, I mostly do film sessions on all these players that may potentially commit to Georgia or who have already committed to Georgia, but I will also do updates like these as well. And I'm working on even more content, so stay tuned for all of that. Again, stay tuned. Say hi to my dogs at the bottom left. I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm out. And also, don't forget to check out the intro and the outro, because I work really hard on those and I really like them. So if you're the type to skip those, at least look at it once for both of them, because I'm telling you, it's hard.